In Japan, robots are cultural heroes, yet Japan is ranked 31st globally in AI adoption. It's even behind countries like Estonia and Bahrain. Only about 9 out of 100 Japanese have used generative AI. Clearly, Japan is far behind the rest of the world. The contrast is startling. This is the same country that's known for humanoid robots, levitating trains, and countless other tech innovations. So, why is Japan so slow to embrace AI? In the age of ChatGPT, Japan is falling behind in one of the biggest tech revolutions of our time: artificial intelligence. Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, or METI, has made a terrifying prediction about the crisis the country faces if its digital transformation does not progress. Businesses could lose up to 12 trillion yen, almost $77.6 billion every single year from 2025 if it doesn't embrace AI's productivity gains. This prediction was made in 2018, and we're already halfway through 2025. Japan's slow adoption of AI isn't because people lack skills or knowledge, it runs deeper. It's part of the culture. Japan's public and government sectors are still stuck in the past. They use faxes, paperwork, and physical seals, and digital tools like e-signatures are rare. The country's digital agency found something surprising. About 1,900 government processes still rely on CDs, mini disks, and even floppy disks. A Reuters survey found that just 1 in 4 Japanese companies use AI. More than 40% don't plan to adopt it at all. That's a big difference compared to AI-focused countries like the US and China. This lack of readiness to adopt AI became clear during the COVID-19 pandemic. When lockdowns hit and people were stuck at home, many public services weren't available online. The digital systems just weren't ready, and there weren't enough laws in place to support them. One shocking incident happened in the Yamaguchi prefecture. An official sent a floppy disk to a local bank, which contained private data meant for COVID relief payments to around 500 households. But there was a mistake along the way, and a few days later, a random person received all the funds, ending up with 46.3 million yen. That's about $358,000. Part of the reason why change is so difficult lies in how the systems have evolved. The country's laws are old and quite complicated. The Special Commission on Digital Administrative Reform has identified about 9,000 rules and regulations that are outdated and need to be fixed just to support online public services. Another issue is Japan still relies heavily on cash. The government has pushed for digital payments like IC cards, for example, Suica, which allows people in the country to ride trains, buses, and even shop with a single tap. Even still, around 80% of transactions are done in cash. Many small and medium businesses, especially in rural areas, resist digital payments. This slows down AI-enabled fintech, customer data collection, and payment automation. Another issue is Japan's age demographics. For AI to thrive, you need not just talent, but also people with digital readiness. Japan doesn't have that, with nearly 1 in 3 people over 65 years old. Those who know how to manage the outdated systems are nearing retirement, and young tech graduates don't prefer to work with old tech. Even with more current technology, language is a huge barrier. AI moves fast, and it moves in English. The latest research papers, GitHub repositories, and AI toolkits are all written in English. But Japan's education system hasn't prioritized English fluency like other countries. The result is that many Japanese developers can't easily access global AI resources or contribute to open source projects. They're boxed in by a language wall. And the technical infrastructure isn't helping either. Most young engineers are still being trained on legacy systems, such as COBOL, outdated Java stacks, or proprietary tools with no modern use. Upskilling these systems will require time and money. In fact, just updating these systems won't be enough. To use AI and big data properly, companies may need to rebuild from the ground up. Some have made that leap. Japan Airlines is one of the few success stories. It now uses AI, but only after spending 80 billion yen over 7 years to modernize their systems. Most companies, however, can't afford that investment. Old systems already take up a big chunk of their IT budgets, leaving little money for new tech. Another reason for the slow shift is Japan's longstanding reliance on outsourcing. Instead of building internal tech capacity, Japanese companies have traditionally hired external system integrators, such as Fujitsu and Nippon Telegraph and Telephone, to handle their IT needs. This has raised costs and left firms with little in house expertise. The result is disastrous. There are fewer product driven engineers, less innovation, and higher risk aversion. Although the government and major firms are trying to reverse this trend, rebuilding an internal tech ecosystem takes time. Even Japan's military is slow to embrace AI. In 2024, the government set aside 200 billion yen to build up AI in defense. But progress is pathetically slow. After World War II, Japan became pacifist, and many universities avoided working with the military. But today, there's a growing sense of urgency as China is quickly blending AI into its military. And Japan's own 2022 national security strategy openly calls this a threat. At the same time, Japan's way of making rules adds another layer to the complexity. In its 2025 AI bill, the country's first major AI law, there is no penalty for non-compliance. That means if a company ignores the guidelines, there's no fine, no legal consequence, just a suggestion to do better. The government trusts businesses to act responsibly on their own, hoping they'll follow the rules out of goodwill rather than fear of punishment. It encourages what's known as soft law or flexible guidelines for ethical AI development. Professor Hiroki Habuka, who once worked at METI, calls this agile governance but without enforcement. In this way, Japan has avoided EU-style rigidity. As a result, only 13% of Japanese say they feel safe using AI under current laws. And companies are taking note. OpenAI, for example, chose Singapore and not Japan as its Asian hub, citing unclear regulations. That decision speaks volumes. If one of the world's leading AI firms sees Japan as too uncertain to invest in, what does that mean for the country's future in tech? Because not too long ago, Japan dreamed big. Japan's former prime minister proposed the idea of building a super smart society with AI, IoT, and robotics. They named it Society 5.0. The idea was to create a human-centered society in which economic development and the resolution of social issues are compatible with each other through a highly integrated system of cyberspace and physical space. It blends the real world with the digital world, creating what's called a cyber-physical system, a system where tech is all around us. It follows the hunting society, or Society 1.0, agricultural society, Society 2.0, industrial society, Society 3.0, and information society, Society 4.0. Like the fourth industrial revolution, Society 5.0 is about a big shift in how Japan will work. Here's what life might look like in this society. In rural areas, drones and self-driving vehicles will deliver groceries and medicine. You could order clothes online, choosing fabric and size directly from the factory. Then a drone drops it off at your door. Doctors might check in with patients through tablets while sitting miles away. While the doctor talks, a robot could be cleaning the room. In a local nursing home, robots might help care for the elderly. In the kitchen, a smart fridge will track food and reduce waste. The town's energy will come from small, flexible sources made to fit local needs. In the field, self-driving tractors will work on their own. In the city, smart systems will manage roads, bridges, and public buildings. And if there aren't enough young workers, machines will step in to help fill the gaps left by retiring experts. But most citizens haven't seen it in action. They think it's just a fancy dream with no clear path. Change is coming, but slowly. Japan's digital agency, which was founded in 2021, is working to modernize systems and cut red tape through the integration of AI. It's passed guidelines for when and how government entities should use generative AI programs. Some universities are also updating tech curricula. And there's a growing trend among students to use generative AI. Some companies in Japan are making progress. FANUC and SoftBank Robotics, for example, are starting to bring AI into their robots to make factories run more smoothly and efficiently. In healthcare, places like HITO Hospital and Fujifilm are using AI to help doctors diagnose illnesses and manage patient care. Even in finance, big names like Mitsubishi UFJ and Mizuho are using AI to spot risks and catch fraud before it happens. In conclusion, Japan has the talent, the tools, and the vision. But if it doesn't move fast, its legacy of innovation will become just that, a legacy.